Welcome to another jam-packed episode of the Sports Card Nation podcast, the show that brings you all the important news from the sports card hobby. We'll have some debates, opinions, new release schedules, and info. Plus, we'll also discuss the sports that so directly affect the hobby we all love. We'll mix in an occasional gambling tip or two, throw in some life stuff, and bring you great guest interviews from the hobby and sports dignitaries. And if you're good listeners, we may even give away a few things now and then. Now, here's the guy who wanted the cards and not the gum, John Newman.
All right, episode 14. Got a good show for you today. Talk a lot of things. Panini 1. Going to have some thoughts on that, even though I didn't open it. We're actually going to open some Optic Basketball live, air quotes, but not actually live, but I taped a segment where I did open some Optic Basketball. We're going to talk about, it's the talk of the hobby right now. I got to put my 2 cents in on the Jordan 97-98 Metal Universe PMG, fetching $350K on eBay. We'll talk about, we're going to give away a Greg MADDUX Stadium Club Gold case hit to a listener on today's program. We're definitely talking baseball. We're going to do our first ever, since we're a fairly new show, but I hope it's an annual tradition. We're going to do our first ever Major League Baseball season preview. We're going to talk about who wins the divisions, who wins the awards, MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year. We're going to talk about how some of that stuff will go into play with some of the card values and who to buy and who not to buy, that sort of thing. And we're going to talk about one of the 2 big free agents finally has a home, and I think the other is soon to follow. We'll talk a little basketball, and we don't have an interview guest this week, which is why we're doing the season preview for Major League Baseball. But the next 2 weeks we should have interview guests and back with those. So once again, as always, thank you for being with us, and let's get in the batter's box here. We love hearing from our listeners. Without you, there is no us. We encourage your thoughts and feedback, and we do care about what you think. We encourage you to reach out to us at any of our social media accounts, and they are as follows. You can get a hold of us on Instagram at Sports Card Nation Podcast. That's all one word, Sports Card Nation Podcast. Or our Twitter, which is at Sports Card Natty1, Sports Card NATI1. Or if you go to Facebook, you can search Sports Card Nation Podcast. That's 4 words, and you'll find us. Or you can email the show at sportscardnationpc@gmail.com. Also, please give us a follow. We really do appreciate that. Thank you. Check out our supporter, Break Stuff Market, your new innovative and global marketplace for trading cards, stickers, and sports memorabilia. They have some of the lowest fees on the market at only 4%. All their transactions are secure via PayPal and Stripe. It's easy to set up from any device, and they have some of the highest community and security standards to avoid being scammed. Don't wait. Join Break Stuff Market now. Go to https://breakstuff.market. All right, it's time for What's Crackin'. Let's start with the release schedule on the baseball docket on February 27th, the 2019. Topps Heritage Baseball comes out based on the 1970 Topps set, those gray bordered cards. Those should be interesting. I know I'm going to be opening some of that. On the football side of things, another huge release also on February 27th is the 2018 Panini's Contenders Optic Football. And as I've said, this is the best rookie class, if not ever, in a long time. And that Contenders Optic is making a name for itself. So I think that combination of this rookie class and that product, that thing's going to be tremendous. Let's see, what else? Hockey, same day, February 27th. We're going to have the 2018-2019 Upper Deck Synergy Hockey. And that's it. But some big things coming out. Topps Heritage Baseball, the Panini Contenders Optic Football. And while we're talking about new releases, I want to talk about Panini 1, which, whether they like it or not, I'm going to tell you it's basically Panini's answer to Topps Dynasty Baseball, but on the football side of things. So it's a one per box encased sealed patch auto. Really nice product. It retails between $110, $115, and $125 for the one card. Confession, I have not opened any, but I own 6 or 7 of these cards already just by buying them on the secondary market. They are really going for very affordable prices. It's a product to me that's, I think I might have had this conversation before, but it's going to be hard to make money just by opening and reselling the singles. I think the ones that are making money here on the Panini 1 are breakers, obviously, and maybe someone who opened one box and just got lucky and hit something big. So overall, I think the product is beautiful. I think it's a hit in terms of design and how it looks. I think it's going to be a difficult product. Other than selling spots in a break, it's a product that will be tricky to make money from. What I'm doing is just buying individual cards that I feel are on the secondary market below perceived value in my mind, and I've been buying them up. I mean, I got a Tomlinson four color patch auto numbered to 35 for half of what a sealed box containing one card would be. And, there's Cortland Suttons coming out of this thing that people are selling for $18 after buying a box, or a box retails for $125. So there are a lot of steals, if you will, if you want to call them that. That's what I'm doing, is kind of grabbing those rather than open the product. I think it's, I got 6 or 7 different players from this release, and those 6 or 7 cards in total cost me less than what 2 boxes would have cost me to get 2 cards. So I think that's the way to go. Obviously, if you buy into a break cheap with the chance of hitting something, surely that's not a terrible idea. But anyone that's just kind of sitting down with 4 or 5 of these boxes, or even a case potentially. I saw a case get opened up on YouTube, and I'll be honest with you, it didn't yield anything that was earth-shattering. That I said, man, that'll pay for the case itself. So, it's like everything else we know in cards. You're not guaranteed necessarily to make your money back. That's the chance you take. But this is a product which I call a secondary buyer's dream. I think there's plenty of steals to be had, some great looking cards to get on the secondary market, anywhere from between $18 and $100 that I think I would classify as good buy. So the product itself is nice looking. I think the way to go is to get into breaks cheap or buy the individual cards you want. So let's get it out of the way and be done with it. It's been making the rounds, the huge sale on eBay of the 1997-98 Metal Universe PMG Green Michael Jordan, number 1 out of 10. They're those precious metal gems. The Jordan number 1 was listed on eBay about 9-10 days ago. It actually closed out at $500,000, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a bad bidder or someone just having fun, but the item was relisted, and on the second time with the relisting, you had to pre-register to bid. That auction just finalized with a final total of $350K. A little background on these cards. The greens, there's 100 cards numbered 1 to 100. The first 10, in other words, the ones numbered 1 to 10, are green. Foil cards, number 11 to 100, are red foil. So there's 10 green, obviously 90 red, so the greens are obviously harder to find. The problem with these cards is, besides being tough pulls, being all foil metallic in the first issue or the first release of them, they didn't get the printing process down pat. So these things chip easily, so the better conditioned ones will bring higher values, obviously, as we all know, that's how it works. This Jordan that went for $350K was numbered 1, so I'm sure that enhanced the value or the demand for it. The buyer is obviously confirmed because you had to pre-register, and I actually kind of found out, I'm not going to say who he is, you probably wouldn't know him if I said his name, but obviously a very rich man, but he's very, 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 very rich. Not a celebrity, a business person of the business world, and no one like Mark Cuban or anything like that, but someone who built up a business and then sold it. He was in the health industry. He was apparently the winning bidder, and I think the purpose there is not for resale, but that's going to stay in this gentleman's personal collection. So don't expect to see the green PMG Jordan 97, 98 hit the market anytime soon. I think that's going to stay in his collection, and just amazing that a card that's, less than 25 years old is bringing that kind of money. I get it, but I don't get it. There's plenty other cards numbered to 10 that don't bring any, obviously, nearly to that amount. But there's so many other variables we all know: demand, scarcity, condition, sensitive, all that stuff we all know about. And fetch $350K. I'd love to see what the eBay fees associated with those are, and it's just crazy to think about that sort of a modern day card. It kind of falls in between vintage era and modern day, but that era cards are bringing that kind of money in the industry, but it has. And when you think about it, let's be honest with this Jordan. When they were released back in 97, 98, to be honest with you, cards weren't what they are kind of today. People probably pulled a green Jordan, a red Jordan, and just played with them, went through them. These things chip real easy, so there's probably a lot of bad condition ones, especially on the red side, being 90. But some of these things probably got tossed around, thrown in the box. Some of them probably, we're talking 22 years old. Some of the kids, if you will, that pulled one of these went away to college, and mom or dad kind of cleaned their room up, maybe disposed of these cards. And, how many of these got thrown away? So let's be real here. There's 10 green Jordans, but how many still exist? If there are 10 greens and 3 or 4 got disposed of, that's why I think this card brought so much money. Is where are they? And probably 30-40%, if not more, are probably don't even exist any longer. They probably got destroyed. So that's why I think the demand for this card is as such. Will another one show up? I often wonder, will someone, thrift stores sometimes sell those card bundles. Will someone buy one of those and find something like that in there, whether it be a red one or a green one. Maybe if not Jordan, but even someone else, of that ilk. I think that the potential's there. So we'll see. Definitely interesting. Just when you think you kind of seen everything, something else like that occurs. So someone got very rich, and then somebody added a really great conversation piece at a high cost to their collection. It's time for Grip It and Rip It. All right, going to do a segment we sometimes do on the show every once in a while where we actually open product on the air. I know it's not the same without video, but still, fun for me anyways. The product we're going to open today is Optic 2018-19 basketball. I'm not a huge basketball guy. I don't open a lot of product, but I do like the Optic line. And this product, it seems like every time it's retails, but every time I go to Target or Walmart, it's never there. Today, I went there and there was some left. So I bought some. So I got a mega box, as they call it, with the 42 cards and some of the hanger packs. So we're going to open, let's open the mega box first. Obviously, the big card is the hype Luka Doncic. Alright, there's 2 silver packs in there. We're going to leave them for last. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 regular packs. So we'll start. Pack number 1. James Harden. Got a Dwayne Wade winner stays. Not sure if that's an insert. Got a Giannis. That's a prism, silver prism. Not bad. And then Kyle Korver. Pack number 2. There's a Trae Young on the back side. Terrence Ross. Gordon Hayward. A Kobe winner stays. And that Trae Young rated rookie. Pack number 3. Got a Marcin Gortat. Steph Curry. A Prism rated rookie, not Luka, but Eli Okobo. And an Otto Porter Jr. Alright, next pack. Got Jamal Murray. Kyle Kuzma. Got a franchise features. Dennis Smith Jr. Insert. And another Eli Okobo. Not Prism, but regular. Next pack. Got a Joseph Nurkic. Jimmy Butler Express Lane. Russell Westbrook Express Lane. And Jarrett Allen. 3 more regular packs left. You got Robin Lopez. Kyrie Irving. Got a Nikolai Jokic. Franchise features. And a rated rookie of Svi Mykhailiuk. Probably killed that name, but he's a Lakers rated rookie. Alright. Next pack. Lou Williams, Buddy Hield, got a Malik Monk Prism, and a Bradley Beal. Next pack, this is the last regular pack, and then we have the 2 silvers. Again, another Malik Monk, just a regular one this time. A regular Giannis. A Lock It Up Chris Paul. And a rated rookie of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Alright, first silver pack. So these are all pink, hyper pink they're called. Michael Kidd Gilchrist, Matthew Dellavedova, Ricky Rubio, Luke Kennard, and a rated rookie, Kerry Thomas from the Pistons. Alright, next and last silver pack. C.J. McCollum, Tobias Harris, Tristan Thompson, rated rookie Aaron Holiday, and Reggie Jackson. Alright, not great on the pinks. I did pretty well on the base cards. Alright, let's rip into some of these hanger cellos. There's 3 regular packs, and then a pack that's going to have 3 blue velocity parallels. First pack. Got another Svi Mykhailiuk from the Lakers. Bradley Beal. Dwayne Wade winner stays, and a J.J. Redick. Next pack. Got a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, T.J. Warren, and a Victor Oladipo. Looks like a purple. I don't see a numbers, just a purple prism. And John Collins. Last regular pack in the cello itself. A Michael Porter Jr. rated rookie. Devin Booker. Russell Westbrook League Leaders insert. And Willie Cauley-Stein. And now for the pack, which will have the blue velocities. Got a Jason Tatum, Serge Ibaka, and a Jaren Jackson rated rookie. Alright, let's go on to the next one. Not bad, I kind of like the hanger packs. First regular pack. Got an Anthony Simons rated rookie. Jeff Teague. A Kevin Love franchise features prism. And a C.J. McCollum. Alright, next pack. Got an Alonzo Trier rated rookie. Andre Drummond. Harrison Barnes Express Lane. And Tobias Harris. Last regular pack out of that hanger. Got a Colin Sexton rated rookie. Spencer Dinwiddie. A Anthony Davis Fantasy Stars insert. Pretty cool looking card. And a James Johnson. And now for the blue velocity pack. Patrick Beverly, D'Angelo Russell, and there's a nice one, Marvin Bagley, Velocity Blue. Well, he's a guy I really like. Alright, next cello. First regular pack. Melvin Frazier Jr., rated rookie. Andrew Wiggins. John Wall, franchise features. And Nikolai Vucevic. Next pack. Luka. There's a regular Luka. Take it. Brandon Knight. A Kobe winner stays. And Alfred Payton. Next pack. Grayson Allen. Dwight Howard. Russell Westbrook Express Lanes. And Malcolm Brogdon. And now for the Velocity Blue pack. Got a Paul Millsap, John Wall, and a Mo Bamba, Velocity Blue. Alright, next, got 2 more cellos. So, in a sense, 8 packs. First regular pack here. Josh Okogie, rated rookie. Victor Oladipo, regular card. Kevin Love, franchise features. And DeMar DeRozan. Next pack. Got a Robert Williams, rated rookie. Blake Griffin. And that's odd. And two Blake Griffins back to back, with the second one being a blue, looks like a hollow prism, and a Gary Harris. Next pack. Devontae Graham, rated rookie. Tyreek Evans. A Karl Anthony Towns, lock it up. And a Nikola Mirotic. And now for the blue Velocity pack. Ben Simmons. Blake Griffin. And Devontae Graham. Last cello. First regular pack. Hamidou Diallo. Damari Carroll. A Russell Westbrook Express Lanes insert pink prism. Ryan Anderson. Mikal Bridges, rated rookie. Kawhi Leonard. A Joe Ingles, silver prism. And Aaron Gordon. Alright, last regular pack. Got a Jevon Carter, rated rookie. Miles Turner. A Paul George, lock it up, purple prism. And Al Horford. And now for the blue velocity pack. Clint Capella, Wes Matthews, and Paul Gasol. No rookie in that one. That kind of stinks. But that's what happens. But I do like the hanger packs. I do like the optic in basketball. I know a lot of people prefer the Prism. I'm the other way around, and I think somewhere down the line that optic's going to be kind of more of a fan favorite and maybe give Prism a run for its money. But they're really thick stock cards, shiny chromium. The parallels are really sharp, especially these blue parallels with the kind of the rectangle effect inside them. So really, really cool. I'm sure I'm going to be opening more hangers as I find them. All right, we're going to give away the 2017 Stadium Club Gold Minted Refractor, Greg MADDUX. These came one per case, and this is obviously the MADDUX parallel of that. And the key word is ACE, A-C-E, ACE. So contact us via any of our social medias or email us at sportscardnationpc@gmail.com, sportscardnationpc@gmail.com, or like I said, on any of our social medias. Anyone that responds with the correct keyword, which is ACE, will be entered, and we'll randomize that list of correct responses, and the one on the top of that list after the randomization I will reach out to and contact, and you will win the Greg MADDUX Gold Minted 2017 Stadium Club Parallel case set. Good luck. Have a business or event you'd like to promote or highlight? Become a show sponsor. For a very affordable cost, we can highlight your company or business, either on the podcast or on our website or both. So whether you're a dealer, a breaker, or any other business, we really would love to work with you. Contact us at any of our social medias or email us at sportscardnationpc@gmail.com. That's sportscardnationpc, all one big word, @gmail.com. We look forward to working with you. It's time for From the Box Seat. All right, let's talk some NBA. All-Star Weekend's in the books. Diallo Hamidou is your slam dunk champion. If you've seen the winning dunk, if you will, over Shaq, I don't know about you. I didn't think it was tremendous by any stretch of the imagination. And he continues kind of a stretch where a not-so-hot player wins the slam dunk contest, but as far as being a productive NBA player, they don't fit that bill. He is a rookie, so he's got time. He comes from Kentucky, so he's got a little bit of that pedigree. But right now he's a role player, only getting a few minutes per game, not doing much. But like a lot before him, winning that slam dunk has got his name back out there in the NBA circle. So we'll see if he can kind of springboard from that, pun intended, I guess, to see maybe if he can kind of turn things around and get maybe a little bit more playing time, although that they usually don't correlate with each other. So we do this every week. You know, we talk about Harper and Machado, where they go, and who's the leader in the clubhouse. And one of those guys has found a clubhouse, and that's Manny Machado going to the San Diego Padres. $30 million per year for 10 years. I think the Padres vastly overpaid. I think this is going to be one of those contracts I've talked about on the show where there's going to be buyer's remorse. But for the moment, they got themselves a third baseman. That's where he's going to play. He's a good hitter. I don't think he's the greatest guy in the world. We'll see what kind of clubhouse atmosphere he brings, but he gives him a legitimate 3 or 4 bat. And, that lineup isn't terrible. They're going to win some games. They're not going to win the division in my estimation, but they're going to win some games. But I think the Padres tried to make a splash, and to do it, they overpaid. And I think that's probably what's going to happen with Harper. And I got to think he's going to sign soon. I think the odds-on favorite is still the Phillies, and they have the money, and I think they're just gonna overpay too. But now that kind of Machado set the bar at 10 years, 300, it makes you wonder: is Harper going to command or try to get more than that? I don't think he wants to take less than Machado. I don't think he wanted to wait this long to sign for less. So it'll be interesting to see how this week or days coming play out with Bryce Harper. I don't see him taking any less money, so look for another double-digit year and in excess of $30 million per year. So we'll see how that goes. All right, for the first time ever, we're going to do our 2019 Major League Baseball preview episode. So we're going to talk about who's going to win the division, award winners, according to how I see it. Let's start in the American League with the East, American League East. I think you got 3 teams battling there for that division with the Red Sox, the Yankees, and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's going young. They're going to ride the arm of Blake Snell as far as they can take them. They made a couple smaller trades. I think they're going to take a step in the positive direction. I don't think it'll be enough to make the playoffs, but they're gonna make a push. I think this division, as a lot of the years, comes down to Yankees, Red Sox. And I do not think Boston is going to have the year they had last year, which is one of the best of all time. But I also do see the Red Sox still winning this division. When I look at the Yankees, I know they got James Paxton, but I just don't know about the pitching. They got some other question marks. They didn't really make any kind of big, huge splash. Couple smaller ones with LeMahieu and those sort of guys. But, Tulowitzki's there now, and that guy he plays 50 games a year and he gets hurt, and his career's about over. So I don't really like that signing. I think you got a Sabathia, another year older as last year. I think he's kind of breaking down. He's not a dominating pitcher. I think Luis Severino has proven that there's 2 versions of him, and you almost don't know which one you're going to get at any given time. And I just don't think the Yankees have enough to overtake the Red Sox, even though I don't think the Red Sox will have a year like they had last year. So I think it's Red Sox over the Yankees in that division. The Red Sox are bringing it, pretty much have brought everyone back. So they didn't lose anybody, and they're just too formidable. And I don't think the Yankees made up that difference between the two. Going to the Central Division, I got 3 teams vying for that one, with Cleveland, the White Sox, and Detroit. I think Minnesota kind of falls back and drops out. I think Kansas City's still kind of in rebuild mode. They got a couple nice youngsters, and Mondesi and Merrifield, who's a really underrated budding superstar when you look at the numbers. He's not doesn't get a lot of hobby love, but he's slowly building up his resume. But let's get back to the 3 teams with the White Sox, the Indians, and Detroit. I think Detroit will be better. but they're still not going to be there yet. So I think, again, this division is going to come down to the Cleveland. I think the White Sox make strides. I think the young guys will start to play a little bit better and close that gap. A big question mark for me in this division is Yohan Moncada. Is he going to live up to the hype? I think this year will determine who he is. Is he going to be that future superstar, all-star, or is he going to be the bust player, the guy that never developed into what people thought, especially hobbyists who bought his stuff up and stockpiled him. So I think this is the make or break year for Moncada. Eloy Jimenez, I think whether he sticks with the team out of spring training, I think he gets called up fairly quickly. I think he's going to be a masher, and frankly, I think he's going to be the future face of the White Sox. But I don't think they have enough. I think Cleveland has just too much pitching depth. They added Jake Bauers, who, the name might not scare you, but he's, barring injury or setback, he's going to hit 20-something home runs. So I think the Indians win the Central. Going to the AL West, the three teams I selected are the Houston, the Los Angeles Angels, and the Oakland A's. And I think, the Angels will be better. I think the A's overperformed last year. I wouldn't be shocked if the Angels took second place in this division. They do have some firepower in the lineup. Their pitching's not great. That's going to be their downfall, if anything, is they don't have a great staff. So I definitely don't see them winning the division. And the Astros are, to me, one of the best teams in the American League, and they're loaded, and I don't see them taking a step back. They didn't win the World Series last year like they hope, so they tell you that it was a disappointing year, but I think 2019 they're going to kind of get back on track. So I got Houston winning the division, Cleveland winning the division, and Boston winning the division. My wild card team's going to be the Yankees, and I'm going to say the White Sox sneak in as the other wild card. But I see in the AL Championship Series, I think it's going to be Boston and Houston. I think they're the two best teams in the American League. I think when all the smoke clears, they're the last two standing. And I'm going to take Houston over Boston to be the World Series rep for the American League. Let's move on to the National League. Starting in the National League East, we'll go the same direction. I got three teams I wrote down here. Atlanta, Philadelphia, and the Mets. I think the Washington takes a step back. I think they lose Harper most likely. I know they added Patrick Corbin. They're going to lose Gio Gonzalez, it looks like. I know they're going young with Robles and Soto. But Ryan Zimmerman's pretty much done. Trey Turner, in a way, becomes the elder statesman there, maybe the temporary face of the franchise. I think I still see them as kind of a 500 ball club, especially without Harper there. I know that's not going to be enough to win the division. I am not a big fan of Dave Martinez as a manager. I think he's good for a couple losses that should be wins. Might be harsh, but that's what I think of him. And then that leaves the Atlanta, Philadelphia, and the Mets. If Harper goes to Philly, that can potentially change the balance of power in this division. But I think I'm going to go with the Braves to win the division. I think they're young. They got a lot of up-and-coming players and players that are here with your Acunas and Albies. I think Dansby continues to make some strides and get better. But I think what carries the Braves, too, is their pitching staff. I think Fontenevitz, I probably said that, Rob Fontenevitz. I think Soraka steps up to be a real solid number 2 type pitcher. And so I got Atlanta winning that division. I wouldn't be shocked if the Phillies win the division. And my favorite team, the Mets, I think they're going to be better. Is it going to be good enough to win the division? I don't think so. I hope I'm wrong, honestly, obviously. But I think they push. I think they make a push and go in the right direction. So to me, that's a 3-team race. I got the Braves coming out on top of that division. Going to the NL Central, the 3 teams I got are Milwaukee, the Cubs, and St. Louis. And this, I think, is one of those divisions where any of these teams really could win it. But I see the Cubs kind of, getting a little old in the tooth. They'll be competitive. They'll be right there. They only finished out of the division by a game. All right. I think the Cardinals, with some of their acquisitions and Goldschmidt, and I think their young pitching in Flaherty. It'll be interesting to see if Alec Reyes can finally stay healthy and stay in a rotation. He's got a chance to do that. But I'm gonna go with Milwaukee again to repeat as division champs. I think they're young. They got a pretty good nucleus. Their bugaboo still is going to be pitching. It's why I don't think, even if they win the division, they don't go far in the postseason. But I do think they got enough firepower on the hill and power in the lineup to get that division won. Although it could be any one of those 3 teams I mentioned. Going to the National League West, I got written down here the Dodgers, the Rockies, and the Giants. Bruce Bochy's announced this will be his last year as Giants manager. While I don't think they're a great ball club, I think being his last year, that ball club's going to play for him. They're going to dig down deep and really go to the wall for him. I think it's going to equate to some more victories in that case. So the Giants will be in the mix. I think the Rockies have built a really good nucleus of power hitters. Again, what's always been the Rockies' ailment is pitching. They do have a couple up front with John Gray, but I don't think they have enough to be division leaders. And I think the Dodgers, even with the loss of their midseason acquisition in Machado and maybe not signing Bryce Harper, and I know they did trade away Puig and Kemp, I think they still get the job done. They got probably one of the better pitching staffs in baseball, and arguably maybe the best 1-2 combo with Kershaw and Walker Buehler. So I think I'm going to pick the Dodgers to win the division. So I got the division winners as Atlanta, Milwaukee, and LA. I'll pick the wild card as Philly gets in, and I think the Cubs or St. Louis. But in the NL Championship Series, to go to the World Series, 2 young ball clubs. I think they're the cream of the crop in the National League, and they have a chance to really dominate for a good 5 to 6 years. Both of these teams, I think it's going to be Atlanta versus the Phillies. I'm going to take the Atlanta Braves. I know they didn't get there last year. I think they were too young. I think they're maturing now enough to get over that hump. So I'll pick the Braves to be the NL World Series rep against the Houston Astros. So Houston versus Atlanta will be my World Series matchup. If that happens, that would be really fun to watch. 2 young ball clubs. If that was the matchup, I think I would take the Astros to hoist the trophy again in a 6 or 7 game series. So let's talk about some individual players. One of the guys, a sleeper, you may never even heard of him, Yusi Kikuchi. He's a pitcher in Seattle from Japan. They signed him. You probably don't know about him. He might surprise you. But let's go through some of these awards, how I see them playing out. Let's start with the Cy Youngs. I'm going to pick my winner for each league, and when the year is over and these things are announced, we'll backtrack and see how I did. But I'm going to go with Chris Sale in the American League. I think Blake Smith, I can't say his name. Blake Snell is the real deal. I see a great year, but not on the level that he was this past year. I think Chris Sale is that just consistent, gives you a chance to win the ball game every year. I think the Red Sox are going to have more of a tighter battle to win the AL East, and I think Chris Sale is going to be one of the difference makers why they do it again. In that regard, he's going to win the Cy Young Award. On the National League side, I'm going to be a homer here. I'm going with Jacob deGrom again. I think he's legit. We all know the Mets did not score runs for him, which led to barely a double-digit win season. The stat was if it had the team just scored like 2 runs a game every start, he would have probably won 20 games or something like that. They've added some firepower in the lineup. I think some of the younger guys step up and progress. I think Conforto is finally healthy. Robinson Cano in that lineup, and I think they score more runs. And if you're going to score more runs for a guy like DeGrom and Syndergaard, they're going to win some games. Now they got a bona fide bullpen with Familia and Edward Diaz closing out. So they're going to score more runs. They got the pitching is going to be just as good as it was last year. With more runs scored, it's going to equate to more wins. I think DeGrom's going to win 20 games this year. I think he'll win Cy Young again. I think there are a few other guys in that mix. Obviously, Max Scherzer is always there. I think DeGrom actually has maybe a little higher ERA, but he's going to have 20 wins and a low ERA. I think that's gonna. I think the Mets are going to be in the mix for that division, and I think it's going to get Jacob deGrom his second Cy Young in a row. Let's go to the MVP category. We'll start in the American League. Trout's always the safe pick. Obviously, I wouldn't be shocked if Mike Trout gets it back. I think Mookie Betts is a great player, but I think he had really just an exceptional year. I don't see that being that kind of year he puts up every year. So I think the two guys, the two favorites are Mike Trout and the guy that finished second last year, Alex Bregman. I think Bregman continues to progress. I think he has a big year. I think Houston becomes the best team in the American League, and therefore I'm going to go kind of in a sleeper, even though I finished second, but kind of a dark horse pick. I think Alex Bregman's your 2019 American League MVP. Then I go to the National League, and I see a guy that was recently acquired just paying dividends for the St. Louis Cardinals, and that's Paul Goldschmidt. I think everything I've read, kind of the Diamondbacks kind of held him back from stealing as many bases as he wanted to. I think he's going to get that green light in St. Louis to generate that speed, steal some bags, generate some runs for the ball club. We already know he's a power hitter with a pretty high average, and he had a month or two where he was kind of sluggish last year. I don't think he has those 1 or 2 months this year. I think Paul Goldschmidt has an MVP winning season in St. Louis. So I'll go with Goldschmidt in the NL. Now for the Rookie of the Years. Okay. In the American League, I think the odds-on favorite is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's going to be my pick. He may not stick with the club out of spring training, have to go to AAA for 10, 20 games before finally getting that call up. I think he's going to have moments in the bigs where he struggles a little bit, but he's just too talented to struggle for extended periods of time. He's going to put up numbers, and I think he puts up enough numbers to go ahead and win the American League Rookie of the Year award. I think the other guy to watch in that category is Kyle Tucker from Houston. I do know he struggled last year when they brought him up late in the season, but he went back down to Triple-A. He did work on some things I read, and he actually tore Triple-A back up when he went down there. I think he too is too talented to not be successful on the major league level, so I think he's got an outside chance to push Guerrero for that award. Going to the National League, I think also Eloy, before we go to the National League, I think Eloy Jimenez is also kind of in that mix as well. And that all depends on how long he has to stay at AAA, or does he make the ball club out of camp. But now going to the National League, a lot of question marks with rookies. Most people's pick is Victor Robles from Washington. Now with Harper most likely gone, he's going to pretty much have an opportunity to win one of those outfield spots. He probably will. I think he's going to have some moments of struggle. He's not really a power guy. He's more of a speed guy. Maybe that power will develop, but I don't think he's going to come in right away and hit a lot of home runs. And, the team that has those youngsters, I think a San Diego Padre wins the NL Rookie of the Year. Before I say his name, you might be surprised. If I told you I think a San Diego Padres winning Rookie of the Year in the National League, you might say Fernando Tatis Jr., Francisco Mejia. I'm going to give you another name maybe you forgot about or you don't realize. Luis Urias. I think he's a solid, top of the order type guy. Will steal some bags, hit some home runs, hit for average. He doesn't strike out a ton, and I think he becomes kind of one of those pesky ball players. Is going to have a good year, and he's my dark horse sleeper candidate that comes, I don't want to say out of nowhere, but sort of off the radar to win National League Rookie of the Year. So let's talk about some other things that I kind of see. I think this might be the year. You might think I'm crazy. This might be the year Walker Buehler becomes the Dodgers' best starter. I think Kershaw is getting a little bit long in the tooth, and I think under his tutelage he's going to excel. If Walker Buehler stays healthy, he's going to be a great pitcher, probably a future Cy Young winner. I wouldn't even be shocked if he had the kind of numbers this year to pull down a Cy Young. I'm not expecting that, but it wouldn't completely shock me. His stuff is that good. So Walker Buehler may be the Dodgers' best pitcher actually at this stage in time. A name to watch in the American League. The one thing the Astros do kind of need to maybe shore up a little bit is that pitching staff. And they have a young man throws very, very hard. Let's be honest, he got suspended for, I believe, 50, 60 games last year for PED use. But his stuff's legit. He throws hard, and he has a propensity to make major league hitters look bad, and that's Forrest Whitley. And he's got a chance to maybe squeeze in this rotation, if not at the beginning of the year, at some point during the year. I think his talent is going to be too much to keep him on the minor league level. Between his talent and the need for some arms there, I think Forrest Whitley is a name to watch. I know his cards are, while they are popular, they don't go for a ton. He's a guy I'd probably start buying up if the prices are right. The other guy I want to talk about, American League as well, I did speak of him a little bit already, is Eloy Jimenez. I think this guy is a future 40 home run a year guy in the big. He's kind of like a Chris Davis, but actually better hitter. Hits for more average. I think eventually he's really the face of the White Sox franchise. And years from now, the Cubs will look at this, because that's who traded him, and say, man, we're sorry we traded him. So, I think he'll have some growing pains this year. That's why I didn't make him my Rookie of the Year pick. But I think, there's an outside chance. I know everyone's on the Vladdy Jr. train, but Eloy Jimenez may be potentially better, depending on how things shake out. Another guy, the Indians kind of gave up on him. He's now in San Diego. It's Francisco Mejia. I think this is the year, hopefully, got quite a bit of his stuff. So on a personal note, I'm hoping he does well. But this year might be the year he puts it together. I know San Diego likes him enough. They're getting him some work in the outfield. He's a catcher already. They're getting him some work in the infield position. So I think they want him in the lineup. They want to know whether they hit with this trade that they made with the Indians. But I do like him. But I think kind of like Moncada in the American League, for the National League, this is the year that Mejia really needs to kind of show that he's a big league ball player with a bright future. So this is sort of a make or break a year for both of those guys. So it should be interesting. I'm excited. They're about to start the first spring training games. And, we all know if you collect cards and you collect baseball cards, once that baseball season starts, how these guys do or not do, this stuff will fluctuate the market so much. If you're one of those guys, I don't think I consider myself one, but if you're one of those guys, flippers, you buy somebody up low and sell high. Baseball is one of those sports that really you can do that. So the start of that season gets a lot of people excited. Factor in the fantasy as well, and it's fun time. So this thing's about to get kicked off. We'll revisit this at the end of the year and kind of see what I got wrong, what I might have got right, and that sort of thing. So play ball. For over 25 years, Newman Sports Cards has set the standard in customer service in the sports card industry, including same-day shipping. They've added supplies and some wax products to their already great arsenal of rookie cards, game-used cards, autos, and graded cards. Check their fully searchable website out by Googling Newman Sports Cards. It's the first thing that comes up. Click on that link. Or follow them on the social medias at Newman_sportscards at Instagram, or at Twitter at Nooms Sports Cards, or give them a call or text at 315-491-0239. As always, folks, thanks for being with us for episode 14 here. It'll be interesting to look back at the end of the baseball season and see how many things we got right, how many we got wrong. I'm sure there's a little of both there. Good luck. Don't forget the Greg MADDUX giveaway on this episode. Go back and listen for that keyword and let us know what it is. The next 2 weeks we should have some interesting autograph guests that I think you'll enjoy. So we hope you join us next week. As always, we thank you.
You've been listening to the Sports Card Nation podcast. Join host John Newman next week as he gives you another jam-packed episode of all things related to the sports card hobby. And a little extra fun, too. Don't forget to check out the show on Instagram at Sports Card Nation Podcast.